Wow. You know, so I haven't driven the clutch now for a while. So, and now I'm sitting lower to the ground. Am I going to find out the hard way? I'm going to rub on the ground somewhere. I mean, wow. So, yeah, the wow, and the wow, and the wow. I'm tired of the wowing. So, the car sounds really good with that exhaust note. So, it'll be really interesting is, does this thing kind of get old on the exhaust note as I go down the road? That's what's going to be kind of interesting. Okay, it's time to get the ride going down the road. So listen to the Mustang, right? Let's check it out. And, you know, I'm going to get all my stuff set up here, which just doesn't end on the technology side. And wow. So, wow. Is this thing going to be fun? Look at this here, the knob, shifter knob and all. So let's go take it for a ride. All right, Coons, Baltimore Ford. Thank you, Dave, for doing all the work and doing a great job. We're going to find out. Here's, you know, this is going to be the moment of truth when I drive this car. Does it handle like it used to handle? Is it going to be the same handling? Or am I going to be like, wow, I totally screwed up and I just really ruined the car with the new coil springs from Stedo? Got some noise going on here. Definitely a really solid type of feel in that shifter. And this isn't like the Tremec transmission shifter, so it's not as refined in my eyes, but I think it's pretty cool. And that was a project for the gentleman who did this car. I mean, I watched a video when I considered doing it myself, and I was like, wow, it's a lot of work. So here we go. Here's the bumps. So that's going to be the real ticket. Does this car need now Magna Ride because of the bumps? And there's the rev matching, which I think that's where I think Dodge has made such a huge mistake of not giving that. Okay, so here we go. It's got some noise. It's got some life. Like that. It has like a little burp to it. So it's interesting to see how much the viewers are hearing in this car as I drive down the road. But so far the suspension feels very similar to the factory suspension. But we're going to be going over a really rough road here shortly that's really going to tell its personality. Yeah, it's solid. So the bumps, this is definitely eating up the bumps like it used to. And just feels really good. Is this guy go? Am I gonna go? Ooh, I hit a hell of a bump right there. That was, I mean, yeah, it went through the light. I see that, but I mean, this car definitely feels a little bit more powerful because of that H pipe. I think you got a little bit more free flow, but I mean, not radical. But the car, you know, the thing about these Mustangs, just out of the gate, I mean, they're fun, fast cars. It's not the fastest car, but at the same time, it really is a good feeling car. And so now going down the road, this suspension feels really good. This car feels really in tune. So the change out of those coil springs feels really good. Wow. I'm very impressed with that. So now I'm just kind of taking the car and doing a little bit of zigzag, and man, I mean, she is tight. And I didn't do like everything you could for a true, really more performance-oriented racetrack car. I kind of try to keep it mediocre, you know, to try to get in the middle of this car because I didn't want it to be too stiff. So here we come through the corners, and I mean, just really tight. And this is the part of the road where it is so bumpy. It's a really bad part of the road. This is the real story right here on how this car really handles this really lousy road. Loving the exhaust. You know, exhaust isn't like overbearing for me to talk to you on my phone. Okay, so you hear this? Here's road. This is a really bad road. fun time. Yeah, so just incredible. The Ford Mustang 650 series, I can't emphasize enough that how tight these cars are, but mine now is tighter because of those support brackets. Instead of saying sway bars, I would say they're more about support brackets. But here it is, eating up these lousy road. I've ridden so many cars from this dealership through this area, and it just beats the crap out of you. But the thing is, this car isn't like making rattling noise, and the Magna Ride is a waste of money. You don't need it. Anybody out there shopping for the Mustang, I would not spend close to $2,000 for the Magna Ride. I just don't understand. I can't see how you get really that much better of a ride. This guy here is totally clueless. Yeah. Okay. All right, how about that? I'm in 6th gear. I'm at 2,000 RPMs. And look, so the interior noise is not bad at all. Wow, I'm really excited about that. Happy that this car isn't where you can't hear somebody when you talk. And a lot of these Mustangs are like that. You can get these cars where you mod the exhaust and it just gets way too loud. So very impressive for the Roush performance exhaust for this Mustang, and the H-pipe and the Steeda springs. In all sincereness, if I was blindfolded and I didn't see the car, I would honestly say, what did you do to the car? I would be so much on the page of, nope, the cars, there's nothing's been changed. I hear exhaust note, but that's it. So the stability of the car, the feel of the car, it feels it feels borderline exactly like it did from the factory springs. So that's a heck of a success for Steeda if that was their goal. I mean, I think they've done a great job. And they've been around so long. I mean, that's the thing. You know, you're going to buy parts and things for cars from the guys that have been doing this stuff for years and years. They know their stuff. So my morning conversation was to be satisfied. And am I satisfied at this point? I really am. And I just love how this exhaust is a nice exhaust, but it's not a crazy exhaust where I just feel like it's, you know, overbearing. And that's what happens. Wow, so it just rocks. And I just came out of the Ford Mustang Mach-E, and that car is so fast. But this car here, I mean, yeah, will this car get you in trouble? It will. The 2024 Ford Mustang GT Performance Pack, modded by the Ice Age guy with new Steeda springs, new support bars front and rear, new short shifter, new H-pipe, new Roush exhaust. Let's get this thing some fun. Woohoo! I mean, just really nice, solid. This car is so confident. I mean, this car is incredibly confident. I mean, it's just, look at this. I mean, just rock solid. Wow. Very impressive. Thank you, Steeda. I mean, just wow. You don't even know the speed you're going. This car is just so comfortable. It's so nice. This is one of those days where you just don't want to stop driving. I mean, I am just taken back about how comfortable and just how nice. Look at this here. I mean, this car, I mean, it is just no vibration, no walking, no real radical noise coming through it. The exhaust sounds really good. I mean, wow. I am so impressed. I mean, could you even imagine if this thing had a supercharger on it? Oh my gosh. And with the short shifter, this thing is just so much fun. Why would you want a dark horse, right? I mean, in so many ways, I mean, the dark horse is a nice package. But now, for what I've done with this car, I mean, I got a heck of a deal. Ford was very nice to me in the back end. So, right now, for the amount of money I paid for this car, the state of parts, the installation, I can't emphasize enough that I'm miles ahead. I'm still at least 10 grand ahead of the dark horse on what I've done to this car and pricing. Cheaper is what I'm saying. So if I was able to put a supercharger on this car for 10 grand, wow, but I don't think it's going to be the case. I think that new Whipple supercharger installed is going to be a $12,000, $13,000 at least dollar expense. But anyway, it's just a great, fun car. And in so many ways, if somebody's stuck on getting a dark horse, I don't know. You know, I don't know if I would say that it's worth really waiting for that. And I think you're going to have just as much fun in the GT performance package, personally. I can't wait till they get an air intake for this car, and I think that's really going to even make it even more fun. Okay, so here we are just traveling good old highways, and this thing here just, I mean, look, just nothing. I mean, wow. I'm sure some of you are like, man, one more wow, I'm just turning off the video. I get it. I'm just trying to get everybody a real feel. I mean, look at the shifter. Is it vibrating around? Steering wheel vibrating around? I mean, just it's just a really well-built car. Mustang's done a great job. And do I miss my? Yeah, I mean, my GT500s were incredibly nice, really nice cars. But now, with knowing the S650 series, 7th generation, the way this car handles and feels, man, I tell you, I don't know if I will miss my GT500s, because it's just such a nice package. With the sun hitting this vapor blue metallic, you can really see the flake in this. Maybe it's kind of hard to see through the phone. But wow, the wow day, right? The wow man, really nice. I think the exhaust looks good. See that there? You typically have the duals, singles. So how does she look, right? It's all about personalizing your own vehicle, and that just makes us happier. Brakes are phenomenal in this car. These brakes are so big. This car is just such a great performing vehicle. I mean, bang for the buck, I think this is a great package. So, in so many ways, is it outdoing the Dodge Challenger on pricing wise? What you can do with this thing? I don't know. I haven't really compared that. We got to give her some energy. Got to give her some gas. She needs some fuel. One thing that's really neat about these new Ford Mustangs, they get the hold for you, so you don't have to have your foot in the brake to take off in the car. And it has, without even touching the pedal, this has rev assistance to help you start the car off. So for a beginner manual transmission driving person, this would actually be a pretty good car to learn on, because it helps you get the car going without dumping the clutch or stalling the vehicle. So that's pretty cool. Just for anybody out there that has ever wanted to drive a manual car, this new Mustang really does a good job on helping you learn how to drive a manual on that assist right there. So here we go with the short shifter. Get out here on the road. How about that, huh? We got some noise. And as I've said many times, this car has the hold. It has the hold assist. Right now, you don't have to have your foot on the brake for this car to stay in brake position. And then once you put your foot on the gas pedal, it actually releases that hold. So it's just a really nice feature. It's a comfort creature feature, I guess you could say. All right, let's see if I'm right or wrong, right? So you're at the light, and it gets old holding that brake sometimes. So here I am, and it's pretty cool. You let the clutch out without even touching the gas pedal. It actually releases that hold brake thing here. So as I drive down the road, one-handed, two-handed, to second gear. Isn't that nice? Hear it? Now, I don't think it's too raspy. Some Mustangs can kind of be a little raspy. And it's not real into the interior, so you can hear that nice exhaust note, but it's definitely going away from you, so it's not overwhelming in the car per se. I mean, I'm kind of getting into the higher RPMs here, just to kind of give you a little bit of a feel for the noise factor. What this thing is, it really gets down the road. It really is just a lot of fun. Another nice thing about this new exhaust, it doesn't have the drone. You can get that really obnoxious noise when you're driving down the road, and it's called a drone, where it vibrates through the interior of the car on the exhaust, and it's just like, it's like your ears, your eardrums are just like, it rattles your eardrums. It's so not the greatest thing. Coming in here to Frederick, Maryland, and having a little bit of fun in the car. So the fuel mileage is down a little bit, but it's incredible that you really can get really good fuel mileage out of this car if you're not really just dogging it all day long. So it's very respectable. And, you know, in this car here, this shows 276 mile range. I've seen it at over 300 mile range if I'm really kind of just not being too bad in the car. I've got like 24 miles per gallon. Now, in comparison to that Ford Mustang Mach-E, that car this morning showed a 200 mile range at full battery. So this car here, no doubt in my mind, if you're not really riding her hard, this is going to have about a 300 mile range. So you'll get a good 250 miles out of the car, versus that Mustang Mach-E, you're going to be looking for a charging station at possibly 80 miles, 50 miles. Just depends where you are. And that's what's such the dissatisfaction over these electric cars. It's the constant challenge of, if you're on a road trip, where you're going to find the next charging station to charge your car. You have to exit early many times because there may not be another charging station, but for too far away for your car to make it. So very satisfied, very happy, and being I changed the dynamics of this car in some ways of lowering it, I really felt that I make a big mistake. And on the exhaust note isn't overwhelming in the car, and I really do like that, because that was a concern that it would be too loud and then it's just obnoxious. There's a very fine line there when you start changing your car out and you learn the hard way that yes, you didn't really make it better, you made it worse, and then you're not really satisfied, and it all goes to you probably want to just sell it eventually. Oh, it's always fight the traffic, fight the traffic. That's all it is. But this thing's just so much fun on this rev matching. It's a lot of fun. So now when you're in the car and it's not running down the road, how does it sound? See, that exhaust is not overbearing. So I like that. Got the hold feature here. Take off from a light. This so helps you as a beginner driver of a manual really handle the car better. It's really impressive how that exhaust really does get taken away from the car. I imagine outside the car, this sounds really good. And it's not resonating back into the interior too radical. But if you want to venture at this exhaust, actually is pretty noisy for a person behind me. I would be amazed if they were like, yeah, this thing's really actually very sounds underneath the bridges. Wow. Yeah. That's pretty, let's see here. And a lot of wind noise. Yeah, too much wind noise, don't really hear that. But here you go, look. Window goes up automatically without me touching the freaking control. Why Dodge doesn't do that? It's just kind of befuddling. We're in 5th gear. Once you go in that 6th gear, this really does kind of calm down. So that's very very livable exhaust note. And the thing, a mistake on buying your car, what are you going to do? I mean, sincerely, are you going to go back to the dealership and tell them to take it back? I mean, even for me, I was kind of like, you know, do I really go that direction? And I was like, I hope not. So, Steve, we are just moving on down the road with beautiful fall Friday. Tinted the windows out. I mean, watching my channel. Did the front strip across the windshield. Just so you know, front windows, rear back little windows, the rear window in the back of the car. So I've spent a little bit of money in the car, but nothing radical. All right, here's with the windows down here. So many ways you kind of get actually a better note inside the car, which that's kind of interesting, that having windows down, just too much noise. Now I'm on a major road where it's usually putt, 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 putt. You can really see the fall colors right here coming through this area. Just really pretty time of year here for us. This is the Maryland side, close to the Virginia side. It's all about that exhaust note, isn't that the dang truth? It is about us motorheads. just love the exhaust note. I mean, what is it? Where did that come from? I mean, wow. It's just that nice V8 motor. It just gives you that really, just, that's something. And here we go through the corners. How does this thing feel? I mean, very, very tight. Yeah, great exhaust. It's the Roush exhaust, performance exhaust. It's the mufflers, and then it's an H pipe. And what the good news is, the S550 series exhaust is interchangeable with this S650, the 7th generation Mustang. So if anybody out there like me, I kind of lucked out. Because I had a Ford Mustang Mach 1, and I bought that exhaust, H pipe for it, and I never put it on, and then I sold the car. So then I was like, I just spent like $600, $700 for what? I borderline was going to sell it for dirt cheap on like at the car meet, or I actually had a guy that was kind of interested in it, and I probably would have let it go for like little to nothing. And like this here, this is beautiful. It's really nice. Entrance to Virginia. On a really just beautiful Friday. I couldn't have asked for better weather to go pick up my new modded Ford Mustang GT. I mean, wow, who would ever imagine this? I wouldn't even imagine a month ago that this would all even be playing out. As you come into the Virginia state line. This thing just so tight. This thing back roading, be extremely confident. I mean, just wow. So yeah, so it's incredible how that H pipe that I didn't use, and the reason I'm bringing this up for others out there, if you have any leftover Ford Mustang parts, you may be able to use them on your new Mustang, which that's encouraging. And that's one thing I think that Mustangs are known for, which my perception is, they're so much easier and less expensive to mod and to do things with them. And I think that's why it's such a popular product, because you can do so many things with them on a better budget than going to, say, the Dodge platform, which seems to be more expensive, and even somewhat against the Chevy. I'm not really so sure on that. But I know for the Dodge platform, it's just not as dominant as product. And Dodge has been in and out of the industry in performance so many times, versus Ford, it just keeps chugging along. Home stretch, where even for me, I'd just like to keep on riding around and driving. But I got too much work to do, and I got to get back in my office and take care of a lot of paperwork. So I'm going to have to call it a day here in a second. Wrap it up here in a moment. And yeah, I like to talk, you notice. But I hope the video helps others that are thinking, hey, do I go for the Steeda lowering, springs on my brand new Mustang GT that I just love, and I don't want it to alter the way it feels? I can tell you from firsthand experience, it won't. So you're going to be very happy that you have a lower profile Mustang, but it feels exactly like it did from the factory. I can now share with anybody that wants to get this Roush performance exhaust that it's really nice. It doesn't have a drone. It's not overbearing. It's got a good note to it. I can share with you the H pipe that I bought. It fits this car and fits the previous generation as well. No problem. I can share with you shifter. Short shifter is really cool. There's a Ford Performance shift knob. Okay. The support bar and rear support bar, the car definitely feels really tight. It felt tight before, but I think that if I really got aggressive in the back roads, it would even be that much tighter. And the real thing is, the claim is that rear support bar takes away from any wheel hop if you really kind of want to get into the more drag racing and more connect the rear tires, that you don't get that rear axle to hop on you. That's the claim. So I'm going to kind of get to the final walk around and call it a day. What a beautiful day. And the satisfied conversations. If you're new to my channel or watch my channel, watch my morning conversations. I get a car theme and turned into some of our own personal theme and state of the times theme. And this week we've had a lot of car talk and motorcycle talk. And so go to my morning conversations with today is the satisfied conversations. And I can't emphasize enough that I'm very satisfied with what I have done to this car. Once again, it's the wow, right? So to get up the road here, get you back here on the front end of the car instead of the back end of the car, and let me put that in 5th gear, and it really does tame down that exhaust. So it's for anybody who's married out there, you know as well as I will be like, it's too noisy, it's too noisy. Not all women will be like that. My kid will want even more noise, but for the average person, can you go down the road in the car where it's just not obnoxious and you can't talk to each other because the car is too doggone noisy? And if you're a real Mustang enthusiast, you know, go from 5th gear on the GT 350 package, it turns off the exhaust. The exhaust flap valve shuts down the exhaust note. I didn't like that. An old Mustang enthusiast knows the GT 350, they had that 6th gear quiets exhaust down. I never liked that. A lot of people overrode it or removed it. So, all right, enough talking, right? All right, we're home. And look, I got an S550 GT Mustang, and I got an S650 Mustang, and I got barking dogs inside. Don't know it's me. So I think we're going to call it a day on the Ford Mustang 2022 GT Performance Package, Vapor Blue Metallic, and once again, Steeda coil springs, lowering springs, front and rear brace brackets, short shifter, the Roush exhaust, an H-pipe on it, and I tinted out the windows. Actually had LA tint out the windows, so there it is. Great car, a lot of fun. This car over here, another gentleman had this car, did some mods. That's the kid's favorite. And if you look here, this car here has the active exhaust where you can change the sound of how the car sounds. Has the dual tip rear setup versus this car here did not come with active exhaust. Kind of surprised the guy didn't do it, but it's all about the money. The gentleman special ordered this car and he ended up not being able to buy the car. That's why I have the car. But I'm making the best of it because I think the package I got is a great vehicle to mod with and not be too far deaded into it. So watch my channel, Ice Age TV, share the channel, and look for more adventures and stories that'll be coming again. Have a great day.